So just for whatever sake, but you can see, using a hardware store paint. I would never paint a body with it, but this is supposed to be satin black. But you can see very clearly that some parts are gloss black and some parts are matte. But it's not a consistent coverage. And that's what happens with these paints, is, to me, with my experience. I mean, sometimes you get lucky and you get a nice finish, but more times, 9 out of 10, you get this, what I call high and low spots, because it's not a consistent finish all the way across whatever you're painting. Now this is the undercarriage, so it's not really going to matter that much, but I think I'm going to hit it with some matte enamel from Testers. I can't spray it with lacquer now because this paint that's on it now is some kind of either enamel, acrylic, or combination of the two. Of course, the can doesn't say. Hardware paints a lot of times don't tell you what kind of paint they are. I'm pretty sure it's one of those two, or it's a mixture of the two. But and I think the enamel will work fine, but just so I can get a consistent finish, because it bugs me. So, if this is one reason I don't use them on hardware paint on bodies anymore. When you get an issue like this, it's just too difficult to deal with and fix. It's easier just to get a nice paint job the first time if you can. So, but that's that. So now I can show you that the last paint was a little uneven, but I put some flat black enamel, Testers enamel, over it, and you can see how it's a very nice finish from end to end. So I still try hardware store paint now and then. That can I had before was an older can. Maybe if I had a newer can it'd be different, who knows, but I try different ones when they're cheap. And I don't, like I said, I don't use them for bodies. I only use them for, like, say, the chassis, interior, small parts, just depending what it is. But it's the high and low spots that are usually the issue. Anyway, you saw the before, now you see the after. Before I button this up, I just wanted to show the interior. It's kind of basic. It's not bad. But one thing that's pretty cool is these door handles, these chrome door handles, are a separate piece. And then you install those on the door panels. And I thought that was kind of unique. And other than that, pretty simple. That's what it looks like. There's the dashboard, which comes in, the chrome bevels come in from behind after you put the decals on there. You can't really see the decals or read them, and once you put it inside the car, you're not going to be able to see any of that anyway. But another cool thing is this car, when they molded it, it has door locks on the door panels. Just another detail that this kit has that most other kits don't have. Just little things like that, but they did a little extra. So that's it. Just wanted to show those. I finished the Lindberg Dodge Charger SRT8 Super B. I believe in the instructions it said this car was a 2017. It was a good kit, a little bit complicated in a few areas. One of those kits that you just got to be careful to get everything lined up
Because, if you get a part that's a little bit off, it's just going to throw other parts off. I want to say it was built straight out of the box. It's painted with Tamiya yellow. I got lucky on the decals. All the decals worked fine. Even though this kit was a little bit old. I think it came out in 2000 I'm not sure. It says 2007 on the box, but that can't be right. Unless this is a 2007 Dodge Charger. I thought it was a 2017. I don't know. It's not real clear. The glass installs from the outside of the car. It has a really good interior. I should have shown a clip before we got into this. There's not a lot of chrome to it. It only comes with one set of wheels, and that's the wheels here. I believe these are stock. On the box, they have a little bit of a satin finish more than a chrome finish, but I decided not to strip them. The back wheel, one of the back wheels on me, the axle broke. So I've glued it on many times, and I can see right now it's already angled out, but that's not the kit's fault. It's just that the axle, while I was handling it, I guess it broke, it snapped. I tried gluing it together in different ways, and after a while it'll hold, and then the wheel will just break loose, because without that axle there's not really anything to glue it to. So, but other than that, it should be fine. The gas cap on this car, it shows the inside of where the gas goes, the fuel, and the gas cap. So I posed it open because I've never built a model car that had where the gas cap goes. And I don't think this car actually uses the gas cap. I watched a video, and evidently you just push on the door to there. You just push on it and it opens, and then you have access to where do you put the fuel in, and it doesn't have a gas cap. But I've seen other vehicles that don't use gas caps anymore. All the way back to Ford did that on their pickup trucks years ago. So there's no gas cap to lose because there's no gas cap. The car came with a wing. The tail lights are molded in clear plastic, so you have to paint those red. I used Tamiya clear red out of a can to tint those. I give it about 2 or 3 coats. Just, you start out slow because you don't want to get it on too thick. You don't want it to run or anything like that. You want a nice even coat across it. So you got to do it in light coats and just build on top of that, and then you get a nice red tail light. I like the way the front lights came out, the way they were. Part of it installs from outside, and the clear installs on the. The chrome part installs on the inside, and the clear part on the headlight cover, the clear part is installed from the outside. But I thought it was a very convincing look, the way they did it. Now the grille on this car is chrome plated, this piece right in the middle here. So you have to strip that and then paint it yellow to match the rest of the car. This big black piece right here is a decal. If I'd have thought about it, I knew I had the decal, but if I built another one of these, I would probably paint it, just because it would probably look better. But I didn't have any problem with the decals. I just thought it would, as far as that goes on the back, it would look better. I lost the Super B emblem for the lower fender on the right side. It disappeared. I don't know where it went. I put the left one on, and I went to put the right one on, and it was gone. I couldn't find it. And it's very tiny, so I was like, I don't know where it went. But this is the Super B logo here on the bottom. So let's take the hood off. if we can. There we go. So of course it comes with an engine. It's a new style Hemi. And I don't know what color the valve colors would normally be, but I thought I would paint them like red. I just thought to add some color to the model. The engine was nicely detailed. It fit. All these parts in here, or even the shock towers, are all separate parts on the inner fenders. Those are really tight. For the most part, they fit well, but the one that has the air cleaner that goes in front of the throttle body, I could not get that to fit correctly. And you don't have a lot of room to work because already the hood doesn't quite fit flush because of this part here. And I've pushed it down as much as I can. And but that could be that somewhere along the line I installed something a little bit off. I don't know. And then that's what caused it. I'm not real sure. This nose could have fit better. Right here you can see there's a little bit of gap on each side. And I had to keep working with that and trying to get all the body tucked in with the interior and everything else. And that took some work because it's just not a matter of just snapping it all together. It took some work. There's some holes underneath the front fenders, and then there's a stud on the chassis, I believe it is, that goes up in there, and you have to be real careful working that in there. Of course, when you get to the stage where you're putting the chassis with the body, that's where it gets to a point where you start putting parts on them and you start knocking parts off. Parts start falling off. If you didn't glue the wheels on, the wheels fall off, or parts inside here fall off, and all kinds of things. So, or you knock the spoiler off, But right now, everything's together, so. But overall, I like this car. I wouldn't mind driving one of these, for sure. It's a four-door. That's a little odd to me, but I can't remember if I ever had a four-door car in my entire life, except for trucks. But I don't think I ever had a car that was four-wheel drive. Four-door. Let's see what's underneath here as it spins around. Let it come around one more time. I'll show you. It has great detail underneath. I think I showed that once before. You may have seen it in an earlier video. But there's great detail on the bottom. And that I enjoy painting all those parts. Different shades of metal and things. This sway bar I painted blue. And everything fits well in there, but it's just a matter of wiggling it all in there. And then you glue the rear bumper panel on and the front bumper panel. Those fascias get installed after you put the chassis and the body together. So that's my Dodge Charger. I think Lindberg makes another version of this kit, but it's not a Super B. It's the car is red on the box. I did have some parts left over from this kit. I had some pulleys. I don't either that's for the other version, or maybe it was for the later police version. I don't know. I have these left over. I think these look like coil packs or something, but they're not for this kit. They're not mentioned in the instructions. I traditionally don't use hood hinges because they're out of scale and they just look weird to me. And normally when I build a model, and I forgot to do it on this one, but normally you can see right here there's a slot right there on each side where the hood hinge would go. I normally fill those because no real car has a gigantic hole in the cowl right there. So I always, that to me that's always been realistic. So I always fill those in, except on this one I wanted to fill it in and I thought about it, but the way this car is designed to be put together, I just thought it'd be problematic. So I decided to just skip it. Normally I would just put a piece of sheet plastic underneath there and fill it, and then sand it down so you wouldn't see it, or just fill it with glue, as long as it, depending on what the shape of the hole is. But like I said, no real car has that hole, so that I always fill those. And then if there was some kind of part sticking out of the hood that slides into that hole that's not a real hood hinge or anything like that, I normally clip that off and sand it down. But that's just the way I do it, because I like to lift the hood up off the car. I don't want it to be like lifted up like that. You can't really see underneath there, and I don't have any interest in playing with it, so I don't need moving parts. So there's the Super Bee. It's done, and if you have one of these kits, I guess it would more or less look like this one. This reminds me, because of the high doors and the low roof, or at least that's the optical illusion I get. But to me, there's a little bit of the 300M Chrysler in here, because it just gives me that, when they came out with that car, the same thing with the high doors, and the way the roof was designed makes the car just look like has a chopped roof, even though it doesn't, simply because of the way the doors are high and the roof is medium. But it's just the high doors. This is, to me, a stubby kit, a stubby car, but when you put it all together and you really look at it, the car's, in real life, it's a long car, I'm sure, but to me it looks a little stubby. Maybe that's just me. So there we go, and I hope you enjoy it. If you have one of these, this is what it looks like. If you don't have one of these, you may want to get one. Just be aware of, it's not really an easy build. Don't make it your first kit, because it will frustrate you. But with a little bit of patience, and I had to push my patience on this car. It's worth the effort to me, because I really like the look of the car. So, but yeah, and that's it. That's the Charger. So we'll catch you later.